Well, hello and happy Tuesday, folks. Get up! It's Dork Discourse Tuesday, everybody.
What up, what up?
Sorry about that little glitch in the beginning. I was sitting here in the behind the scenes when I saw you all saying, "Hey, where's the music?" And I was like, "Oh shoot," because we turned it down last week when I had another glitch, and we had a rocky start, some technical difficulties last week, so I had turned the music down. So thank God you guys said something. Anyway, long time no see. Hello, friends, and welcome. So many new friends here showing up. Brett Balrog.
The
Of course, we have all
Balrog.
the OGs. Ty Sabin. I saw W Ram, new dork here. I think they said first time dork. I freaking love that. And I cannot believe can I steal that? I cannot believe I haven't thought about that as, like, how some or like recording artists or celebrities have like their fan bases have like names.
hmm
Swifties, Harrys for Harry
The
Styles,
Yord Horde.
Yord Horde. Like, we can have the dorks. So welcome to all of our first time dorks here. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Tuesday, friends. Lone Nomad, what's up? Patrick Kelly's here. Epic Dude, Brett Stewart, Sean, Dark Jedi, Joshua was here, Alice, of course, Jason Olson. My gosh, y'all are showing up in full force. Daniel
Yeah.
Barry's here.
Whole gang. Whole crowd.
Everybody, Charlie, of course.
Welcome, everybody.
The OGs, Jerry. I think if I'm repeating names, I probably am. Sean, Dan the Man was popping in. Let's get it, gang. Oh, of course, Anatar, Lord of Gifts. Let's go, y'all. Happy freaking Tuesday. Thanks for showing up and showing out, especially because I had no idea what to do for tonight's episode. It's a little bit of a dry spell here. Of course, we discussed the finale of Rings of Power last week, and there's
Mhm.
no new Star Wars news necessarily. If you're sick, hopefully you get better. You know what happened? We went to a sporting event this weekend. Tom's alma mater was playing USC here
Yep.
in LA at the Coliseum.
Yep. College football game.
So both of our
Yep.
voices are a little bit
Little horse.
like still recovering. I thought I would have been better by now, but this is also the most I've spoken all day, which happens quite a lot to me actually. Working from home in solitude, I don't utter a single word, and then I come on stream and I'm like, oh, I can't talk.
Yeah.
Ty Sabin says you should react to the Evil Dead soon. Guess what's coming out actually on Thursday? I'm gonna drop that video on Thursday this week, so 2 days. Stay tuned. That one was highly requested. And let's just say it messed me up big time. It was not necessarily that great to follow up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
So I know some of you are new here from those horror reactions. So thanks for tuning in and joining your first Dork Discourse stream, if this is one.
Yep. As you can see, Kat loves horror. Die hard horror fan here
Well,
for all the new folks.
I was telling Tom, my plan is working. I've wanted to do this Reactober venture for the longest time on the channel, and I just never committed to it because I am scared. I'm a scaredy cat. And I figured, like, let's finally just lean into that this year and exploit my own fear for entertainment purposes. So my whole plan's working. Like, I knew that these would be hopefully some of my more entertaining and comedic reactions because I'm just so genuinely afraid. And so, in spite of all the fear that I've endured and have been watching more horror movies than I've ever watched in my entire life in a back-to-back span, I'm glad you're getting enjoyment out of them. So, my all of this is to say, I'm starting to think maybe we'll keep the horror content as perhaps a once a month installment on the channel and call it the Scaredy Cat series, where maybe 1 or 2 times a month I continue because I've gotten so many requests and people really enjoy them and they are fun to make and fun to edit because I get to just watch myself be scared
Yep.
as heck. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have a permanent Scaredy Cat series. I'm gonna be like Taco Bell and bring back the nacho fries long term. It'll be a permanent installment on the menu. Dark Jedi asks, yes. So anyway, today's theme's Q&A because I couldn't think of anything else to do.
Yes.
And
We've never done
so
just Q&A Dork Discourse.
it's
You
been
made this like
I've done
Q&A
Q&As,
videos a long time
yes.
ago, but we have never had a Dork Discourse Q&A
Yeah.
session.
I don't
to
think
just,
we have.
Address whatever people are interested in and questions they have in whatever topic genre, dork related, not dork related, sports. We were talking about college football, American football this weekend. Got a big international soccer game. The United States is playing in Mexico in about 2.5 hours. So big game for the United States men's soccer team this evening. So hence the jersey.
Yes, represent.
So yeah, whatever is on.
Let's kick it off. Dark Jedi asks, can you tell me what your first reaction was? I only started following a short while ago. Well, thank you for being here. What the frick was my first reaction? I think I started to do reactions to fan edits of...
I know exactly what your first reaction
was.
Oh
my god, I know what it was. Oh, holy smokes, how can I forget? It was the Rise of Skywalker trailer. Yes, because I reacted in my college interesting username there. How can I forget that one? Yes, we reacted to that in literally like my college apartment bedroom. Didn't have my official professional backdrop by any means. And where the heck am I going with this? Oh yeah, we woke up the next morning and we were like, oh my god, it has 15,000 views. And I don't even think we'd ever broken like 10,000 views on the channel. So that's right. How could I forget? Oh, that was a good time. Yep.
Rise of Skywalker, the first teaser trailer with the Palpatine reveal was the first reaction. So a good 5 years ago.
Sweet Lord, don't say that.
5.5 years ago.
That puts things into perspective.
5.5 years ago. You're coming on the 6-year anniversary in like January. That'd be 6-year channel anniversary. So.
I've already been getting the notifications from YouTube. If you go into YouTube Studio, it says happy birthday to your channel. So, Ben Miller asks, is there any movie or TV show that you would like to get into at some point? So many of them. There's not enough time in the day, and I always do polls when the spirit moves me, and I ask you guys, like, what should I watch next? And I list several options, and then I never do any of them. So I have a vision. I have a game plan. I want to do Walking Dead, The Boys, Fallout, Lost. There's so much that I want to do and watch. So many iconic shows like that. So hopefully one day I can get around to it. Definitely The Boys. That's been very highly requested. Greetings from Poland, says the Balrog. Answer honestly. Did you really like Rings of Power? And do you rate it as an adaptation of Tolkien's prose or as a separate fantasy series? I did genuinely like Rings of Power. I am not paid to say that. And I did genuinely love the second season more so than even the first one. And I find the first one to be extremely rewatchable, and it gets better and better every time I watch it. But I think we both are in agreement that season 2 was superior in our opinions.
It just continued to elevate the stakes and elevate the world building, and it was just a steady crescendo from the first season and first episode of season 1 through the finale of season 2.
Yeah. So, what's the second half of that question?
The second half, I don't have an opinion because I have never read any of the books of anything. I'm a Middle Earth cinema and now TV
enthusiast.
Yeah, that's my only experience, and the video games.
My interpretation and my honest opinion here, after reading the Silmarillion at least, is nothing. I don't think anything can replicate, what Tolkien can do with words. And if you are like me and a very vivid reader, that book in particular, I was just like, even if the Rings of Power, which I also had read this book, I know I've said this a million times, but I bought and read that book in anticipation of season 1 of the Rings of Power, thinking that that's what the story was going to follow, and only shortly after I finished it did I realize they never actually got the rights to that lore. So that said, I don't think, my personal opinion is nothing can really truly fully replicate the world building and just the expanse and depth of his writing. And in my opinion, that's okay. Granted, I know that this is just a personal bias because, as I said, I'm an extremely vivid reader, and I'm lucky enough that when I do get really into something, it does feel like a movie in my brain. But it's like, I know that nothing tangible can ever really replicate this, no matter how advanced film and TV gets. So that's my honest opinion. So to answer your question more literally, I don't take that show as like a hardcore, this is Tolkien to a T per se, but for what they have with the budget that they have, like you can tell that they are spending and allocating that $1 billion wisely to a point where they do it justice, in my opinion. Um, and it has feature film quality, in my opinion, this show. So I feel like hopefully they continue to just build upon it, because I feel like even visually for season 2, they exceeded some of the things they were doing in season 1. And so I hope that only continues exponentially as the series progresses.
Yeah.
Um,
Well said.
um, Epic Dude asks, do you prefer editing yourself being scared to the ending of Ahsoka? Yes, I would prefer to edit any sort of reactions, these horror reactions in particular, like editing my jump scares, and because I like black out in the moment, when it's happening, and
Yeah.
so to go back and rewatch it, I'm like, oh God, I really was disturbed. Versus the reactions where I'm crying, you know, I don't like to rewatch that so much because I'm like, I have an ugly cry. Like nothing about that is ever graceful or entertaining to me.
Well,
So,
that's not true.
well, does anybody have a peaceful, graceful looking cry? But that's my honest opinion. Jerry, member for 28 months. Holy shnikes, whoops, I just lost it. Hang on, I'm going to pull up the member chats real quick. Thank you so much, my friend. On the master level, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reaction video. I have never seen you stutter so much in a video before. That movie must have really messed you up. And you know what's funny, Jerry? I considered cutting that out of the end of my reaction there, my commentary at the end, when I'm like tripping over my words because my brain was at that moment self-destructing, self-combusting, whatever you want to. It was doing something. It was malfunctioning to the max, and I decided to keep that in because I was like, I can't articulate how I feel right now. I just don't want to even think about this anymore. I need to immediately move on from this and try to proceed with my day, my life, and think about anything else. And I just couldn't talk, but I was like, I know I can't articulate how I truly feel right now. And so all that stuttering and me tripping over my words at the very end of that, review of that movie was like, I'm leaving this in because this is real, and there's no way I can try to edit this to make it seem concise in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully it conveyed how messed up I was, which it did, as Jerry says. I definitely was bothered. And Charlie, member for 37 months.
Charlie.
Let's go. Also on the master level. New milestone. Woo! One, Cat and Tom, thanks for everything. Much love and respect. Two, Cat. Oh my God, yes, Charlie, thank you. I have to freaking check my email. I did receive it. It did go through. I have to just respond to you. Oh, and this second half is for Tom here. When did you know that you were a scientist? Which, if that's news to all of you, Tom is actually a real life rocket scientist. So,
Well, Charlie, I've always been, when I was a kid, I was always interested in science and building stuff, and always been very hands-on, figuring out how things work and whatnot. So, I always knew I wanted to get into science, engineering, stuff like that. So, we were talking about Penn State. My degree is in aerospace engineering, so dealing with the astrodynamics and orbital mechanics and everything to do with space is my general interest. So,
ooh, tides right up your alley here.
So yeah, and they SpaceX had their fifth flight test of their Starship rocket, their Starship system, very early Sunday morning, and yeah, that test they were gonna catch their heavy booster back on the launch stand, and it worked. Which, if you haven't seen that footage, it is absolutely insane, and highly recommend go checking it out. Even if you have no interest in space or don't care at all, it's just pure engineering, human spectacle. The fact that they got that to work, so crazy. So They launch the biggest rocket ever created into space, and then the first stage, the main engines, it turns back around, comes back to the launch pad, and then propulsively lands, and the chopstick arms on the tower catch it so that they can quickly retrieve it. So name every star.
Nathan.
We'll talk after the show, and I'll name them all for you.
Nathan.
So anyway, always been interested in math and science and engineering and building stuff. So that is why I got my degree in what I did and why I do what I do.
Well, it was very exciting. We got some fellow space nerds up in here.
Yeah.
Brett says agreed. That footage was nuts.
Awesome.
But yes, my brain just shut off a little bit. That's a little bit of Tom's expertise there.
If Catherine ever wants peace and quiet, then she asks me a question related to that, and then I talk for a little bit, and then she reaches pure zen, just zones out, totally focuses in. Anyway. Yes, so that's to answer your question, Charles.
It's just too complicated for my smooth brain to handle. Joshua, member for 37 months on the master level as well. Holy smokes, thank you so much. And I'm happy to see you here. I feel actually so bad because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but last week's stream, I caught you tuning in at the very end as we were saying our goodbyes, and I always freaking hate when that happens. So I do apologize about that, but I'm glad that you can make it to this one. If you need a horror movie that is not very scary, check out The Monster Squad from 1987. One of my favorites as a kid. Stay awesome. Thank you, Joshua, for the recommendation. I will say, I shook things up and I followed up, Texas Chainsaw and The Evil Dead with the Cabin in the Woods, which was a nice little reprieve from the super, utterly terrifying stuff. But we've saved the bulk of the worst of it for the end of this month as Halloween approaches, so I think I'm just gonna become numb to it all, hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see what mental state I'm operating in come the end of October. But maybe there's also something to be said about overdosing on all of it at once. Just back to back to back watching horror movies versus watching them in isolation. For example, if I had just watched The Exorcist this month and nothing else, I'd still be thinking about that. But
watch The Conjuring on Christmas Eve.
That's what I'm saving Conjuring for Halloween. I think that's going to be the final episode.
Okay.
Because that,
spoiler alert,
that is what I am regarding to be an extremely scary movie that I never thought I would touch with a 10-foot pole. But Hereditary has also been getting a lot of requests, and that one I have specifically neglected over the years because that director, Ari Aster, his stuff disturbs me to my core. Midsummer is a movie that I will never freaking forget, and not for good reason, like for disturbing torment reasons of just that movie stuck with me, and it's been 4 years since I've watched it, so I was like, I don't think I should watch Hereditary, but I'm doing this for y'all. This is for your entertainment. So hopefully this makes me stronger. We'll see. But thank you again, Joshua, for the recommendation. Lord knows that I'm gonna have to spend the month of November watching the most pure content imaginable known to man. So let's do a quick little power run. I know I've definitely missed some here. Oh, Mummy Barbs has arrived, I guess.
Sup, Mom?
She popped on in.
Welcome.
Oh God. Have you seen Longlegs? Asked Alice. No, have not, but I've heard scary things about that one. Here we go. As Dak Prescott would say.
We're not going to talk about professional American football in this stream.
They're filming The Last Conjuring as we speak. That's still going on? Sweet Lord. Oh, God.
Blair Witch Project.
I've never seen that one. No, not Hereditary, says Nathan. Stop. I know. I'm scared. I'm so scared. For some of these, I might be doing them as member-only watch parties for the moral support. So members, stay tuned. I'm calling on y'all. I need you. Are we getting a Fallen Order Trilla cosplay at any point? Tom could go as Cal. That's true. If you had a little red tint in your hair, you could pull off Cal Kestis.
You mean Rick Astley?
Did you guys see on Twitter, and I don't know how much truth there is to any of this at all, but I feel like I saw that there were rumors of perhaps a live action Cal Kestis eventually coming to the Star Wars canon, and people theorizing about who would play him and other actors addressing the question. Did you see that, like, on Twitter?
I did,
And
and
I'm
the
just, we're just
actor I
like,
saw was the guy from
Will Poulter from Maze Runner, correct?
Yep.
This guy you're thinking of?
Yep.
Yeah, who's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
incredible actor, by the way.
Yep.
Like, talk about an incredible career. Great. I would love to see him in Star Wars in any capacity, but not in Cameron Monaghan's role. What the heck? I just thought that was so freaking funny. If they were to ever actually do that, I might severely consider, like, my allegiance to the Republic if they don't cast Cameron Monaghan in a live action rendition.
No.
Sweet Lord, no. So yes, that we probably could have actually done a whole stream about that. I was like, I don't know, is there any Star Wars news or something to talk about for this week? But I have just seen Hereditary. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh my god, I lost it. It was right there.
Sean, you're a bold one. With that chat. Bold one.
Where? I'm losing track.
You'll see it when you see it. I'm not going to address it, but you'll see it when you see it.
What?
Sean's chirping.
I can't even keep track. Y'all are showing up and showing out. Well, now I have to find whatever this scandalous. Oh! Sean, Lions had quite the nice feeling of cowboy meat this weekend, didn't they, huh, Tom? Y'all have no idea how happy I was. That was glorious. Do I think my Eagles could do any better? Probably not. Like, we are just barely holding on by a thread, but it's a double win. When the Eagles win and the Cowboys lose, that is like pure perfection for us Philadelphia sports fans. So that was glorious. It was beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better score.
Anyway.
Did you know that the Avengers are in Fortnite? Did not. We actually have not touched Fortnite in a long hot minute.
It has been a while. I have a new obsession. It's been my obsession for the last couple weeks. Playing Grand Theft Auto 5 for the 36th time since it's been out for like 12 years. But I've been playing a lot of GTA Online recently. So that's been the game of
preparing
choice,
for 2026.
Not streaming or anything. There's not a lot to play because of the strike that's still going on. So once the strike is lifted, then the gaming content on your channel,
yes,
and on Catherine's partner channel, McBots, will be coming back.
Partner channel. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Business associate channel.
Goodness. I agree with this, says Ty. I love seeing the Cowboys get whomped. Couldn't agree more. Brett asks, do you like twists in films? One of the best twists ever. And very good underrated film, Eastern Promises with Vigo and Naomi Watts. Oh, interesting. I do love a good twist. Trying to think right now. Which film, if I can think of one off the top of my head that has quite a good one. The thing about twist films for me, though, is you kind of get the best experience the first time you watch it when the twist hits, and then you're like, oh my god. And then to go back and rewatch it maybe a second time is just as nice. Because then you have the knowledge of the twist, so you can like look for any clues or foreshadowing that you might have missed. But then I feel like for me, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Somebody names, oh yeah, like Sixth Sense has an iconic twist. Yeah, unfortunately, I thought about putting that one on my Reactober roster, but I think that as pop culture has just been spoiled for everybody, who knows how that ends. So unfortunately.
Does this count for a twist? Interstellar? The fact that Murph literally
I think you could say
spends her entire life, and then the twist at the end is then that Cooper
you could say that
comes to see her on her deathbed. I mean, I don't know if it's not a like shock twist, but like it's just the plot of the movie, but it's certainly unexpected that that's where the movie's going to end. I think. I remember the
Uh,
first time I saw Interstellar, I was just blown away with the fact that that's
Holy
how it ended.
smokes!
So,
Funny you mention it. Ty pulls up the
oh,
goat
is it?
fact. It's
Yeah,
anniversary,
10-year
which
anniversary
that's
today.
supposed to come back out in theaters, is it not?
I think in November.
Okay, well we have to
Hmm.
go freaking see it. I would consider Interstellar a twist, says Patrick.
Literally.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Interstellar, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, it's probably my favorite movie of all time, outside of Revenge of the Sith. But they're like so different because I mean, one is like actual like Earth potential future versus Star Wars is Star Wars and sci-fi. Um, but I mean, Interstellar never fails to give me goosebumps for 3 hours straight. So um, and then yeah, we just saw Hans Zimmer live a couple weeks ago because Hans was playing here in LA. And he played like 8 to 10 minutes worth of the Interstellar soundtrack. Incredible. And even he said he was like, I almost retired once because in his mind, Interstellar is literally as close to perfection as you could possibly get with a score. Um, but obviously he said he was like, well, still shooting for perfect, um, but yeah, so Interstellar in general is if
Ooh.
people wonder about favorite movies, that would be mine.
My mom just dropped a really good movie that actually scarred Tom, if I may say. It's called
Racing
Life.
Stripes.
No,
Oh, Racing Stripes.
Life
Oh my
with
gosh.
Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Rebecca Ferguson, I believe, um, and several others. It's a great cast, and
No,
that's the one. I won't give it away,
no.
but that's a really fun sci-fi horror film that has an amazing ending,
Hmm.
which Tom's usually like the biggest sci-fi. It takes place in outer space. It has to do with astronauts and all that good stuff. And
No.
um, Tom's been very Tom loves sci-fi films. So
Or Planet of the Apes. That's a great twist. Where they realize that, oh wow, they're just on Earth, but like
oh my god,
the original
yes.
Planet of the Apes.
Okay, I lied. That is a movie that I can rewatch forever and ever, and the twist still gets every single time.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
got to be up
freaking
there.
love those movies. Yeah,
And it literally ends on that. You're like,
that actually
what?
might be good. Good, pulled one out. That actually might be one of the greatest twists of all time. Spoiler alert, but those movies are old. So, so yes. Oh, Lone Nomad. Sorry, y'all. I'm just jumping around to whatever question I see first upon reviewing the chat. Lone Nomad asks, "What are your goals for 2025?"
Hmm.
What are my goals? You know what? For me, a goal is to establish a balanced. For me, I'm working on my goal of this year was embracing YouTube as like a full time job, which I'm still not necessarily there quite yet, but as a creative person who's finally embraced the title of self employed, and admitting to everyone that I'm a YouTuber, because I'm very still, for some reason, closeted about it in my real life because I never expected being a YouTuber, at any point in my adolescence or, when I was studying higher education, when I was getting a college degree. Like, I never thought YouTube would be what I am doing for a living, but that was kind of the goal of this year to really pedal to the metal and see if that was a tangible reality. And I feel like we're achieving it. We're on the cusp of really making that a reality. And so I think my goal for 2025 is to crack down on my own accountability as a self-employed person. That's something I am always struggling with, always trying to work on establishing, hardcore schedule for myself. I always try to deflect because I'm a very creative person and I don't like having a regimented. I like having an element of control. I like having an itinerary per se, but I think to treat YouTube like okay, wake up, that's my 9 to 5 from 9 till 5. It's a very liberal, free-flowing schedule, but my goal for 2025 is to have more accountability over myself. In that regard.
Good goal.
That's just one of many goals, but I haven't really thought about that because I'm in denial that 2025 is like right around the corner. So I haven't even thought about
2 months away.
Yeah. Yourself? Anything?
My goal is to watch you hold yourself more accountable.
What the frick?
No, I'm kidding. My goal is to hit a hole-in-one because my brother just hit a hole-in-one for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and he's the first person to ever hit a hole-in-one in golf in like the entire lineage of my family, that to my knowledge. And now I'm super jealous.
If you go into it with that intention, though, it's not going to happen.
I've had that intention for.
But look at what he said. Like, it just was a fluke freak thing. Like,
it was. And I was 8 inches away on Friday when I played with one of my friends. It was a great shot. Just stuck in the green 8 inches from the hole. So now we're talking about golf. That was not what you guys probably expected. But
well, that reminds me. That's another goal for me as well. You just bought me those golf clubs.
Cat officially golfs now.
I've never been good at golf. But my goal is to get better and more confident in that.
Yeah. No, my serious goal, I think would be, to, I think, help expand your brand and your business.
Your goals don't have to revolve around me.
Because I mean, I think it's a good 2-part goal where if you're setting, holding yourself to a higher standard of accountability, and then I can help you facilitate that, and that's a great goal in my mind. By doing website stuff or art sales stuff or marketing stuff.
I would ideally like you to have some goals that don't revolve around.
That you don't necessarily like to do that stuff.
Yes, all of the business side of things I am just so averse to.
I have goals where we could have like employees.
Sweet Lord, no.
Like hire a marketing team.
I can barely keep myself accountable.
Like grow the brand. Grow that LaSalle brand.
We'll see.
Anyway, that's kind of a vague goal. It's not very specific, but anyway, my goal is to get super hyped about Happy Gilmore too.
Oh my god!
Charlie's bringing up Happy Gilmore, and we're talking about golf.
Ty Saban's bringing up or Charlie and Ty Saban, reading your mind.
Yeah.
It's like Tom's favorite movie ever. I just don't. I'm very skeptical about the sequel. I feel like it's what the frick am I trying to say? Oh my god. I just don't think it's going to live up to the first one, but we'll see. That could just be me being cynical.
Look at that, from Retro. Tom's goal is to enable his wife to succeed, and I respect that. See, you put that perfectly, Retro. I rambled on for like 10 minutes, and you summed it up beautifully right there. So, thank you, Retro.
Sweet Lord. I
respect you, Retro.
Stopping by to say hi. What's up, Sal? Thanks so much for being here. I'm sorry that we can't talk about Penguin. Oh, I should have disclaimed earlier. Like, I'm out here saying that we were struggling to think of a topic of conversation for tonight. It's because we haven't watched this week's episode of The Penguin. We need to freaking do that. I'm like chomping at the bit. And unfortunately, of course, we're not going to freaking do it tonight because we have the U.S. men's soccer game, but eventually. But if we had watched it, that probably would have been the topic of conversation. Maybe next week, because that's kind of the only show we're watching right now between now and the Dune Prophecy series is also coming out in November, I believe. And then, of course, Skeleton Crew in December. But until those, it's a little bit of a lull period, except for the Penguin. So stay tuned. That might be next week's topic of conversation.
You could react to what Sal's watching. The Yankees game.
Oh.
React to the ALCS, and then perhaps New York Yankees back in the World Series.
Mexico is winning today. Says Jetson. Coming in, talking the smoke.
Jetson. Listen, Jetson. Listen. But we're gonna get into this. The United States is on a 7-game unbeaten streak against Mexico. However, the United States has not played in Mexico in a very, very long time. I think 2017 was the last time the U.S. played a game in Mexico. All the other times that Mexico and the United States have played have been in the United States. Granted, usually those crowds are heavily majority Mexico anyway. But still, it's different actually going and playing in Mexico. So we shall see. A lot of our starters are hurt and not in the camp. But we'll see. They looked pretty good against Panama the other night. A lot of fire, a lot of passion that they did not have in Copa America by any stretch. So
certainly the most energetic and most fight they've had.
Yeah, we'll see, Jetson. Jetson, what's your score prediction?
God.
Are you wearing the bottom half of your profile pic? Is it a Mexico jersey? You rocking the Mexico kit in that, or am I? No, it's like a red shirt.
Alice asks if we've been watching the FIFA qualifying games. Have you?
Well, Alice, we're
already saved.
The U.S., Canada, and Mexico
we're locked in,
hosting the World Cup. So all three major North American nations get a bye, or automatically qualified for the World Cup. So the United States is not going through World Cup qualifying. However, in each of the windows where all the teams play, they still have friendly games or Nations League games. They're still playing games, just not World Cup qualifying games. So how's Australia doing in the qualifying? Are they right now? Are they in the top of the table where they get to go to the World Cup? I forget how it works for the Oceanic region, because they have a playoff with CONCACAF, our region. Like the at least for past World Cups, it would be the Oceanic region and CONCACAF, the North American and Caribbean region, who would have a playoff to get a World Cup spot. So
epic, dude, you're an England fan. Oh, right. So
epic, dude. I mean, it was a good Euro tournament for him.
Yeah,
they ended up losing to, Spain, who was ridiculous.
Was that the quarterfinal?
No, England made the
final. That's right. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. England Spain final. So they can't come off a good Euro campaign. So we'll see what happens in the World Cup. I've seen rumors about the US and England scheduling a friendly sometime between now and the World Cup. So that'll be cool. That'll be fun. That'll be awesome.
Whenever I learn that where some of you originate from, I read your messages in the correlating accent. So from here on out, that's good to know.
Hopefully England do half decently this time.
That was
okay. Australian
That
English.
Was quite a caricature. Anyway.
Well, USA plays tonight in Mexico.
Have you watched Ted Lasso? Asks Ty Sabin. Unfortunately, no, because Apple TV is the one streaming platform where we draw the line. We have quite literally everything else. HBO Max, Showtime, Stars, Paramount Plus, Netflix. What the frick am I missing? Amazon Prime Video. We have freaking everything. Disney Plus. Except for Apple TV. I gotta draw the line somewhere, and I think I just subconsciously do it, and I'm so stubborn when it comes to Apple, because I swear it is my firm belief, and I can't betray this, that if you own an Apple product, you should have a free reign of Apple TV. I'm sorry, but that should just be they'd have so many more viewers. Their shows, and this is the sad part, because I do think they have great shows. Ted Lasso always cleans up. At the Emmy Awards, aren't they bringing back? Didn't they finish the show? But they're bringing it back. Somebody confirm me. I feel like they're reviving it, because the original series ending was a bit controversial. No, or not so well received. Somebody, I could be spreading. What show are you talking about? Ted Lasso. Oh. I just said Ted Lasso. Oh. But there's so many other good shows in there. Like I want to watch C with Jason Momoa. I want to watch freaking Foundation, which looks like an incredible show with a stacked cast. It's got freaking Lee Pace, one of my freaking favorite actors, and he's also in freaking everything that's iconic. But I just draw the line. I draw the line. I just actually cannot. Screw Apple TV. I'll never pay for that. I get it from my mom, y'all. I get it from my mom. So yes, unfortunately, no. That's where we draw the line. So I've never seen any Apple TV no things. sadly, and probably never will. Until they make it accessible and free one day. We'll see. Or if it merges into a conglomerate with one or the other of the million. Have you heard of The Expanse? Yes, that's on my list, Lone Nomad, actually. I want to film reactions to that so badly because I know it has a very diehard fan base, but it's still a very underrated show the way people describe it. But I see so many fellow Star Wars fans and people that I share, similar fandoms with, like online on Twitter. I see them all the time talking about how incredible The Expanse is and that it's like one of their favorite things. So I have wanted to film reactions to that for freaking ever. There's only one of me and like 50 shows that I want to watch, y'all. So that's why it's like, for the Legend of Korra reactions, for example, I know that got put on hiatus so I could, do this Reactober venture here. Like, I still need to freaking finish Korra. Like, I get way ahead of myself, and there's so many things on my list, and then I just keep adding new things to my list. So, but that has been on there for a while. Apple TV does have some of the best sci-fi right now. I know, that's why I'm like, do I undraw the line? Do I betray my own rule, my own boundaries, and bite the bullet and just get Apple TV? Because if you've watched Foundation, F's in the chat. Let me know. Foundation is awesome, says Anatar, Lord of Gifts. Yeah. I've really wanted to watch that show. So unfortunately, for now, I have not. But
Nope.
maybe that will change in the future. Hey, Cat and Tom, have you watched the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy? And I know Sean asked this as well earlier. Watched the first episode. Didn't continue with it. That's on me. But it's a very it was fun. I do want it's only 4 episodes. It's only 4 episodes and they're each like a Clone Wars length, only 25 minutes or so. So one thing I'll say though, I feel like they barely marketed that show. I didn't know that it was even a thing or happening until it came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that has something to do with the fact that it's, the subset niche of Lego Star Wars, which I know the Lego brand franchise has fans of its own, it's kind of like a whole separate thing, conglomerate, but I
want to get a Lego Venator class Star Destroyer. They're right here.
Aren't those like $900?
They're expensive and they're huge and they take forever to build. But it'll be sick. A giant Lego Venator.
And what happens when an earthquake topples it over?
It with my life. I protect it with every drop of my being.
What happens if you're not home?
I'll come home. I'll teleport.
Oh, God.
I will teleport to protect it.
This is where I have to leave and go to sleep as it's 1:45 a.m. Have a good one. And watch Merlin, says Epic Dude. Oh, you know what? I've heard amazing things about that show as well. And I love those types of shows, period pieces and whatnot. So maybe. But thank you so much for being here. Charlie, thank you for the super chat. Well, are you going to fulfill it?
Oh, yeah, brother.
Is that something that you do on your McBots?
Hell yeah, brother.
Do you do that on McBots? Is that what the inside joke is there?
No, they were saying that because you called me out for a terrible racial stereotyping English accent, and then I did my racial stereotyping American accent, and they were saying it sounded like Hulk Hogan. So that's the reason behind it. I mean, if you watch McBots, I'm speaking in accents all the time, so perhaps I've whipped out the WWE accent.
Perhaps.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
James Elliott. Oh, sorry, I missed this earlier. James, you should watch Child's Play. I'm debating, y'all. I know I did that poll for, how I should finish out Reactober here, and I'm cutting it close. I'm actually a little bit... I started stockpiling these reactions early in like mid-September because I knew there was no way I was going to be... I've never edited or posted this much content ever in a month of 2 movie reactions per week, and those are, of course... Do a British accent, I want to be offended. God. But I did that poll of what I should do for my final few ones because what the frick am I saying? I'm losing my train of thought. Um, I had a few slots left, and what am I saying? I had several slots left for Reactober and did that poll, and everybody was advocating for all of the options that I put in there. And I know that Child's Play is a classic, and I feel like it's not that scary. I think that one will be more so a little comedic because it's just Chucky. Like, how scary is that compared to frickin' The Conjuring and
Is
Hereditary?
it on your list?
Yes,
Okay.
it did well in the poll as well as Cabin in the Woods. So I filmed
Okay.
Cabin in the Woods. I'm debating what to do next because we're going camping, y'all. And
Not in the woods.
no, thank God. But I still don't know what I should watch prior to to avoid feeling haunted while we're out, camping at night, not in the comfort of our own home, out in the open. I'm already freaking scared, y'all, that somebody's gonna come out with a goddamn chainsaw, saw through our tent and whatnot.
It's a little
So,
overkill to break into someone's tent, but it's fine.
well, it could happen.
No?
Listen, anything could happen. After everything I've watched this month, I believe that demons could happen. A Texas wielding hash slinging slasher. Freaking what else? Oh, so much, so
No.
much. So I believe in anything. Camping means Blair Witch. Oh God, says Ty. I will avoid that. I
Yeah. So someone said a good point about trailer. Charlie talking about Squid Game season 2 trailer. Have you seen that yet?
no, I haven't.
That could be a good intermediate shake up the horror content. Well, I mean, it's already horror.
Well, that came out a while ago.
Last of Us season 2 trailer came out. I don't know if
Those
we got some
all-
Last of Us fans in here. A couple non-Star Wars or things shows that are nearing the horizon that are exciting that we haven't really talked about on this channel. So, live action Avatar season 2. I think someone mentioned that as well. You got the
There
tease
was
of
the
Toph.
teaser. I'm not gonna react to like the.
No, I'm not.
15-second
Saying that you should
teaser.
react to it. I'm just saying that. Just saying what's come out.
Well, I think I've decided, and I know I said this on a prior stream, y'all, that I never actually finished, nor did I announce really why I wasn't finishing all those live action Avatar reactions, but it's because truly, maybe I'll make a video about it. I thought about like doing a video of like why I never finished those. I did the first like 3 episodes, if that. I think I did 3, and then I stopped. And never concluded the series. And I actually just recently deleted all that footage. I saved it up until now because I was like, well, a part of me might finish them one day, but it was taking up storage space, and I decided like I just physically did not want to finish reacting, or I filmed all my reactions. I just could not physically edit all of them, and I couldn't bring myself to. And I have zero desire to rewatch that show, if I'm being real. So I'm like, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation as to why. Because I could go into it. I could make a full-fledged, more deep dive review of how I started off really liking it, and now suddenly I don't. And I'm not necessarily, I'm excited for the second season, especially because Toph is coming into the mix. So we'll see. But I'm debating whether I even want to react to it or not. So, Sean's saying that I'm gonna need therapy. No, who said this? I'll need therapy by after this Reactober month. We'll see. That's why I'm like maybe taking it all in one dose. Just getting it all in my system in one round. I'm not allowing myself. Oh my God, Dan the Man, 3 Body Problem. Talk about Tom's favorite freaking show.
Dan,
Yes.
great show. Fantastic show.
So freaking good.
Excellent
show. So freaking good. You must. And that one is actually rarity here. Like, and I think we talked about this another week, how Netflix now, it's like you have to choose your shows wisely, choose your newest addictions wisely, because they'll just cancel anything that performed poorly within the first 2 weeks of release. So 3 Body Problem is one of these few shows on Netflix, at least now, that is guaranteed, I think. Oh God, Dan, I'm sorry. All right, wait, we'll get into this. But 3 Body Problem is one of these few shows that I think it's a guaranteed renewal of seasons 2 and 3, which will finish the story. So it's like, yes, thank God. And especially with a premise like that, it's like, yeah, we need to see the show come to fruition. So why
Yeah,
waste our energy? You know, we binged that in like 2 days.
it was great.
Like my eyes hurt because we were just watching so
It's
much
just a
TV.
perfect blend of surprise and payoff,
Yes.
and the story itself is just incredibly interesting. Characters were great. World building was great. They set up the stakes, executed on it. Um, yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
But it's like, you know, if that were to get the typical Netflix treatment now of having one really good season and then getting canned, it's like I got so emotionally invested for nothing. So that show I can, in good conscience, recommend because we know it's going to be completed to fruition. It's the full story will be told.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely finish it, Dan. I'm not dissing Avatar. I'll never diss Avatar: The Last Airbender animated. That will forever hold a place in my heart of epicness. Nothing can touch this because it's as close to perfect as anything can ever get. I'm talking about the live action Netflix remake, which maybe I will make a video of how I feel about it now in hindsight.
Yeah.
I don't know if your opinion has changed, but I feel like you've had times where you've been tempted to, you've gone to want to rewatch it, and I've begged you, like, I don't feel like, please don't turn it on.
Yeah, I think there are parts that the show does incredibly well with. I think the best parts of the show are where it actually does focuses on other characters and stories that we don't get in the animated series.
Fair.
Like the whole opening with Sozin storming the air temple. Like that whole sequence was incredible. And then the whole Kyoshi twist when they get to Kyoshi Island was awesome. I mean, to me, that's the best part of the show when Kyoshi comes and wipes the floor with him. The parts of the show that struggle, that don't never really sat well with me, are the middle few episodes where it's like, okay, the one episode they put in like Omashu and Jet and the air temple trader guy who builds the blimps, and the Takeva two lovers. They put all of that into like one episode. And for someone watching who knows the animated show, your mind's just going crazy because you're like, oh my God, it's all these things that we know and love from the animated show that's just putting into one episode. And then the next episode is the panda spirit, and then the owl from the library, and then going to the Crescent Island to see Roku's temple, and another episode where and then Monkeyatsu in the spirit world. And the face stealer is in that too.
Yeah.
Like they put all these pieces from the shows in those couple middle episodes, and if you watch the show, your head's just going crazy. But then eventually they get back to, okay, we're going to the Northern Water Tribe, and that is, pretty in line and similar with what we see in the animated show. And but like the first episode, the first couple episodes, the last episode, I thought were really, really good, and really,
I
really
was
enjoyable.
tempted to just upload my finale reaction because I do think the finale stuck the landing. And Dan is saying, I'm sorry, my friend, I met the Aang actor Gordon, good kid, and we actually bonded at DragonCon. I must protect the live action at all costs. Listen,
Yeah.
I respect that, and it's not like I disliked it.
Yeah.
I just have different I enjoyed it the whole time I watched it, and I did cry in the finale. Like, I was very moved by it, hence why I was tempted to just upload my finale reaction, because I really was like, that I really thought they did justice, and it made me feel new things, different emotions, different levels. And so I didn't dislike it, but in hindsight, I have a different outlook. I think the rose-colored glasses came off because I was so excited for that show for a long time, and with Netflix, I was able to like plow through it. Maybe also my experience was a little bit tainted by I'm not used to reacting to the Netflix formula where all right, it's just like bang, 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 bang. Okay, well, now I have to just do nothing but watch all these episodes back to back and try to get my reactions out as soon as possible. I probably, in hindsight, should have spaced it out and made it weekly for myself, because then it just drained me, and I looked at it as a chore and like a hassle, and I couldn't just enjoy the show because it was like, all right, film 3 reactions, quickly try to edit them as fast as I can to get them out, film again, like try to edit them to get them out. Like it was too much for me, and I probably will never react to another Netflix series all at once again like that, because so maybe my opinion is a little bit tainted by that. Like I just didn't enjoy the process of reacting at that point, because it was just like, oh my god, I have to try to, as quickly as possible, do all of this. But I'm hopeful for the second season, because now they were able to get, feedback. The general public was able to watch it, take it in, and, there was so much discourse online. Of course, from the, pre-existing fan base and new fans who were introduced to Avatar through that show. So I'm hopeful for season 2. And of course excited. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Now that Toph is in the mix. Oh god. You tried to jinx it and you didn't.
So bless you.
Yeah, but you did it before I sneezed, which is something people do when they can sense you have to sneeze and you're struggling to conjure it.
Oh.
People will do that to try to, like,
I just saved you time that you don't have to spend conjuring it.
Dan's also right. We have the Adult Gang movie dropping in 2026. Oh. You know I'm excited for that. True. So hype. Bless you. Thank you all. Thank you all. James has been asking what elements we want to control. I would 1000%. I wouldn't have originally been on this team, y'all, but I would
say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Fire. For both of us?
Yeah.
I only want it so I can be warm.
I'm fire. I want it so I can shoot lightning out of my face. That's what I want it.
Like Iroh, breathing it out?
Breathing fire, thrusting with fire, shooting lightning. Come on.
I want it solely so I can be warm at all times. And Tom already calls me a firebender. That's only been recent for me, because previously I think my answer would have been like water or something. But you called me a firebender because I take really freaking hot showers, and I like to be warm.
Yeah.
I like to be warm. So I was like, you know what? I probably am spiritually at heart, at my core, I'm a firebender. Yeah. That's how I resonate. But since the United States men's team is playing, the pregame coverage starts at 6:30 on the dot, right? 6:30?
Yeah, 6:30 Pacific time.
We do have a cutoff this evening for 6 p.m. on the nose, which we sometimes, I know, go over, but so fair warning, we've got T-3 mins left, and we will go no further because we have a hard deadline so that we can make it to our grab some grub, probably Chipotle, and enjoy the pregame. But thank you all for turning out. I think I saw Sean comment earlier that the chat was popping tonight, and it truly was. I was really nervous that we had no topic strictly planned, so I didn't know if people would be interested, but I know we had a lot of new people who are here from the horror reactions. Yeah. And fear not, the movie reactions are going to continue, and I think become a staple on the channel beyond, Reactober here. Just might be scary movie reactions, but in general.
Yeah, we'll get into Christmas season, Thanksgiving season. You can watch the Snoopy Thanksgiving special.
Yeah, holiday special.
And then you can watch all of the Santa Claus movies.
I've already watched all those.
All of the, you can watch Home Alone.
Already watched all those. Reactions are...
You can never not watch Home Alone. Home Alone is the best. Home Alone is
we watch that every season regardless. Yeah. How are your Legend of Korra reactions going? Before you go, I swear my actual goal, my final goal for 2024 is to finish that show before the end of the year. Stoked for Evil Dead. That movie's a lot. Yep. I'll see you for that on Thursday, team. You'll be seeing me again very soon. And just fair warning, I had to bleep the frick out of that video because I was severely dry heaving. And I realized I can probably not post this in its entirety because it would make y'all viscerally ill. Like it made me. So for the sake of making you guys not vomit, just brace yourself. There is some major gagging in that reaction, and I was severely underprepared.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear from you guys and see whether I should continue in that franchise or not. Beyond Reactober. Final comment, react to The Legend of Doonrot. Peace. Oh, thank you, Dan. Yes, I still have the link from you in my email, I swear. Anyway, yes, okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This was really fun. Thank you for all the questions. We'll do this again.
Yeah.
Probably, who knows? Maybe within the next few weeks, because we're in a little bit of a dry spell here, and I'm running out of ideas of what to talk about.
Or you do more trivia.
Yeah,
Trivia went well. We did that before. We can play Star Wars Risk board game.
Oh god.
Kidding. Anyway, for those soccer fans, big game in about an hour and a half. United States and Mexico. If you're looking for some Tuesday night entertainment here in the United States. If you're in Mexico, like that one guy probably was, hope we beat you. Hope we keep up our streak, and hopefully we get the second ever win that the United States men have had in Mexico. So, here's to that.
History could be
Here's
made
to that.
tonight,
Let's
folks.
all manifest it. So
until next time, until Thursday, thank you all so very much for watching. Hope you guys are doing so well as always, and shout out, of course, to all of our OGs. If you've just been lurking this whole time in the chat and not interacting, we still love and appreciate you. And for all of our new friends here, the new dorks in the Dork Discourse squad, the Dork Squad, thank you for being here. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed your first stream. As non-regimented as this was, as all over the place and scattered as it was a good time, and we always love interacting with you guys. So thank you for showing up and showing out in the chat. It was a good one. All right. Grateful for y'all. We will, T-Money, frick, I'm so freaking sorry. We are literally logging
T-Money.
off. I'm so freaking sorry. We will be back same time, same place next week. I swear, and maybe we'll be going a little bit longer because we won't have a U.S. men's game to watch after. So stay tuned. I'm sorry, T-Money. Maybe next week we'll catch you on the flip side. But until then, thank you all for being here, and we'll see y'all again. Did I say my usual? Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m., wherever you may be. And we'll see you guys again very, very soon.
USA. USA.
Bye.